Biden wants to arm Ukraine with cluster bombs
Oh,
in
my
clear
Lord!
violation of international treaty in new $800 million aid package.
All right, I'm going to tell you. Here's
From
an
4
Army
days
story.
ago. So
Hang
here
on,
you
hang on.
go.
It's an Army story about cluster bombs. All right. Back in the day at basically Dugway, Utah, they used to run desert phase of Ranger School. Now, before that, that was used as a nuclear test range, an NBC test range, and they actually perfected the cluster bomb munition concept on that base. Now, those cluster bombs don't always detonate, and some of them don't detonate for years. While I was in Ranger School, one of the other platoons in my company, one of these unlucky bastards actually kicked an NBC cluster munition that went off. Every person in that platoon was quarantined. They were shaved to the nub across their entire body.
Oh.
And then they were harshly washed from head to toe. Some of them had to have their fingernails removed and toenails removed.
Dear
just
God.
So the chemical agents or biological agents, because they didn't even know what was in this cluster bomb munition, would do to these people. All right. There are treaties out there that we are not to sell cluster bomb munitions to other countries. And our dictator in chief is giving those away to the Ukraine, and they're going to get used on Russia. And more than likely, if Ukraine is half as good as I think they are, one of those munitions is going to go off in a Russian city, and you're going to see tactical nuclear warheads being used.
Yikes.
Fun times.
Yeah.
But yeah, this comes into a new $800 million package. This is from 4 days ago. So there's another, close to $1 billion to Ukraine that they can smurf my balls.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like what Pop mentioned, I believe there's over 100 countries that have signed treaties to not use cluster bombs because they are ineffective and cause mass civilian casualties.
Well, they are not ineffective. Those things are incredibly lethal. Just imagine you have a canister flying overhead and it drops 1,000 to 2,000, maybe more, hand grenades that detonate when they hit the ground, and they scatter to the four winds when that casing opens. It's monumentally dangerous.
And I would suspect, because apparently there was a big NATO meeting today, I would suspect that this is the reason why they are not letting Ukraine become part of NATO as of yet. So,
right.
Well,
but
yeah, that's a whole other.
Yeah, that's a whole other nut roll there. But I do remember a while back a certain redheaded Sucky $5 said it was a potential war crime.
Here we go.
Said the White House once of using cluster bombs.
Yep.
Now Joe Biden is going to give them to the Ukrainians. Madness, I tell you, madness.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's okay for them to lie about Russia using cluster bombs when they weren't. But now we're going to send them cluster bombs because
this is
it's okay now.
Ukraine is totally winning because they're totally winning, and they're totally not running out of ammunition or anything like that.
Hey, did you guys watch that show from Better Bachelor? They're building.
I did not.
They're trying to rebuild the old Stinger missiles, and they're calling them.
Oh yeah. They don't have the guys to do it. They have to bring the old guys back in.
And we're going to see more of that because I'm going to be honest. The men from my generation,
Yeah.
they didn't fuck around. They were absolutely ruthless and on point. And the military we have now has been woke and just run into the ground. And if we want to bring that military back up to speed, we're probably going to have to call back some old timers to run the training to get these guys up to speed.
Actually, I did see a tweet about that earlier today.
Yeah.
I didn't read the article though, but of course, you know, there was a lot of naysayers about that. But old dictator in chief, he defends difficult decision to send cluster munitions to Ukraine. Come on, man. No vote's been wiped.
What a moron.
Yeah.
This guy. Okay.
All right,
can't defend where he is on a stage, let alone where he sends munitions, for fuck's sake.
Hang on, I got to drink. I got to start drinking.
Yeah, there it is.
You guys, this is beyond stupid.
I mean, you're just poking the bear, literally, at this point.
Yeah.
Now, I've been hearing all kinds of different reports coming out of the Ukraine conflict. One, I've heard the casualties reported on both sides have been tampered. The numbers have been tampered with. You really can't get an accurate count of killed and wounded on either side. I do know Russia lost an assload of tanks, and their air force is not performing well. But the thing about the Ukraine that's going to bite them in the ass is they're now running out of the Stinger missiles that we sent them. And without those Stinger missiles, they're not going to have any protection from enemy aircraft and helicopters. It's going to be a bloodbath. And I'm going to be honest, I am sick to death of sending them our weapons. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally impacting our readiness. And the only reason we're sending all this shit to the Ukraine, and this is strictly my opinion, is we have a whole ass load of people at the highest levels of our government who are caught in the corruption train from the money laundering scheme that was Ukraine and our tax dollars. Of course, it's strictly my opinion. I don't have any hard evidence on that. But as a former Intel analyst, I can read between the lines, and that is what I see. All right.
Jimmy, your mic is disconnected again, sir.
Damn it. Sorry. I hate that little... I got a mute button on my microphone. I keep forgetting to fucking unpush it. But yeah,
happens,
of course,
man.
going back here. Joe Biden defended his difficult decision to send widely banned cluster munitions to Ukraine. As we've said, cluster munitions are prohibited by more than 100 countries. There's 195 countries on this planet. Just so you know. They typically scatter numerous smaller bomblets over a wide area. We all know how cluster bombs work. Those that fail to explode threaten civilians, especially children, for decades after conflict ends.
And that is absolutely correct.
Because they essentially become mines after that if they don't detonate, yeah?
Absolutely correct. Yep.
I said in an interview with CNN, the resident said, "This is a war relating to munitions, and they're running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it. And so what I finally did, I took the recommendation of the Defense Department to not permanently, but allow the transition period while we gain more than 155 bazillion weapons, these shells for Ukrainians."
Wow.
I had to Biden it up because they tend to edit out the transcripts.
No, you're doing a good job, brother. You're doing a good job.
But he actually let that slip, though. This sentence right here, we're low on it, or they're running out of ammunition and we're low on it. Apparently, the Department of Defense, from what I've heard, didn't like that he let that little slip up out during that interview.
Well, I'm gonna listen. I have people in the know who are still in the service, and I get information that's unclassified, and we are actually having a hard time. We are emptying ASPs, ammo supply points, all over the active duty installations just to send shit over there.
That is stupid.
This is fucking beyond stupid.
Yeah.
You got
So what's
swearing, and swearing and drinking. You guys are ruining me tonight.
it happens, man.
Mm.
Of course, they say there is concern in Washington and other Western capitals that at the slow progress of Ukraine's summer counteroffensive, not much of a counteroffensive if they're not making any grounds. As the war marks its 500th day on Saturday, Ukrainian commanders say that their dug-in Russian opponents have superiority in artillery and heavy tanks, limiting the ability of their troops to advance. Friday, the Pentagon announced an $800 million military aid package to Ukraine that includes cluster munitions.
Yeah, more money that we can't afford.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
I really don't.
it's fucking beyond stupid. Now, I'm telling you right now, Russia is the master of the ground and pound, and that's what they're doing right now. Do I think the Ukraine, could make some headway? If they're lucky, yes. Will they be able to keep it? Well, if Russia decides they really want to go all in, it ain't going to happen.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, because Russia has no problem marching walls of battle meet in your direction.
Yep.
They don't care how many people get killed. It is shameful. It is inefficient, but that is what they do.
Yep. They take the Zap. They take the Zap Brannigan wartime force. They just send wave after man until all the killbots reach their maximum kill limit.
Pretty much.
But again, of course, they're talking about, Ukraine, we need this, we need that. But the timing is complicated for Biden, who will travel to Europe for a NATO meeting in Vilnius, Lithuania next week. That was today. That actually happened today. Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO security general, stressed Friday that the military alliance took no position on cluster ammunitions. So it is for these individual allies then to make those decisions. So he told them in Brussels.
Well, here's the thing. If Putin starts throwing around tactical nukes, it's going to harm Europe. It's not really going to affect us much if, it just is what it is. So they're the ones, Europe are the ones that should be pissed off about this, not just us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's kind of where I was going back to my statement earlier, where maybe sending cluster bombs that are banned by, let's see here, most allies, including Britain, Germany, and France. Yeah. They signed the UN's Convention on Cluster Munitions in 2008. The U.S., Russia, and Ukraine never signed the treaty, insisting there were circumstances in which to use the weapons was necessary.
Okay, so they're going to fall back on a technicality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Technicality is not going to protect, Europe from the tactical nukes from Russia when one of those cluster munitions goes off over a major city. It's just not going to happen.
But here's a little surprising snippet. Biden also faced backlash from within his own Democratic Party. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who will co-lead an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act prohibiting the sale of cluster munitions, said, "We have to be clear, if the U.S. is going to be a leader on international human rights, we must not participate in human rights abuses." Gee, kind of like what we're doing at the southern border because of Biden policies. You want to talk about those?
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.